Hello and welcome to the Most Epic Adventures. I am your host, Rob Zip, and this is another Most Epic interview. Tonight I have members of Priests of Hiroshima. They are a rap metal band. Um, I don't know a whole lot about them. I used to work with one of the guys. He's going to be joining us a little late. And then another guy, met up with a friend of mine and told him about this. So I've been trying to have them on for a little while. Let's go ahead and add. What's going on?
How's it going, man? Glad to be here.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Flux. I play bass. Was one of the founding members of the project. Me and my brother basically wrote the music and then worked with the two vocalists to finish putting the songs together.
Very cool. So describe your band.
I think first let me just say what it has been described as, and I think a word is rebellious or revolutionary, and it didn't necessarily start off in that direction. When we started this project 4 years ago, it was just meant to be unapologetic. It was just meant to be reporting unapologetically on what we see out here in the world, and as it molded and as it came together, it became more kind of a protest oriented type of album, even though that's still only a part of the album. There's a whole other section of it after that, but that's how we formed 4 years ago. Me and my brother decided to write music, and I wrote the bass parts, he wrote the guitar parts. We had just electronic drums at the time, and then I enlisted the two vocalists, Steve and Nino, and I've been working with them for years already before that. Brought us all together to flesh out the rest of the music, and then we went and found a drummer and another rhythm guitar player so we could start performing.
Cool. And you guys are based in the Houston area, right?
Houston, Texas. Yes, sir.
Right on. I know. So I used to work with. I don't know what his band name is. What's his band name?
Steve?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just Steve G.
It's just
Steve G.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to work with Steve G, and I know he's a pretty fiery guy, and has
Right.
strong political opinions that I generally agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame he's not on time, man.
Well, it's interesting that you describe him as that, because he is very passionate and fiery when he gets going, and then kind of almost as a juxtaposition to that, Nino, our other vocalist, he comes from a very calm and collected place. So there's these two totally different identities that are running the show, so to speak.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you about having dual vocalists, and I mean, I guess that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Now, I know Steve mostly does like rapping. Does Nino do that as well?
No, they're both rappers. I both worked with them in the studio for years, and I knew going in that that's what this project was going to be. Just them being friends of mine, and us all wanting to make music. That's what we had. That's what we worked with. So that's what we are.
Yeah. So you describe yourself like a rap metal band?
Yeah, I usually just stay away from genres. I usually describe it as a perfect circle had a baby with 9-inch nails and raised it on Public Enemy. Is how I describe it.
All right. Your name, Priests of Hiroshima, is very Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, it is a line in Sleep Now in the Fire, which is a Rage song. But if you actually look into the story beyond, there is a story there, and it's that these group of Jesuit priests, when we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima actually, while everything around these priests was leveled, they were unscathed, and they didn't even get radiation sickness afterwards. So it kind of is a we take it as a symbol for an indestructible message, if you will.
Nice. Well, I mean, I haven't heard that story. That's an insane story if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you can look it up. I think the lead priest name was Robert Schiffer, if I'm not mistaken. But they were Jesuit priests, and that's kind of, if you look on our album cover, which you can find on Spotify or any streaming outlet, that's what the album cover is. It's a cathedral that is still standing in the middle of everything else around it being destroyed.
You've got the radiation logo as your part of your logo.
We used that. That was that's our original logo. That's what we wear on the back of our shirts when we perform. And that's just a standard logo for This Is Who We Are. Yes, we do use a radiation symbol, which is kind of we messed with it. It's kind of distressed looking if you actually look at it, and I think it looks cooler than just a regular symbol.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what do you guys? I know Steve moved away. So what have you guys been doing during this this downtime right now, where there's no shows or anything? Yeah.
There's no shows, so that's out. My brother actually moved to South Carolina for a little bit to do some work there that he found. So we're kind of all over the place right now. Hope is to eventually be reunited, and but it'll take the right situation to get that going. But either way, the Priests of Hiroshima will continue in some fashion or other after this pandemic is over with. Ideally, we go on tour with Rage Against the Machine whenever they come back. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, nobody's touring right now.
No.
I just got an email today from White Oak Music Hall about the Deftones Gojira show being rescheduled for next year, and I'm like,
I got the same emails about Primus.
Yeah. Same email about Primus. Yeah, a lot of shows they're doing that with, and like, I don't even know if they're going to happen next year. To be honest,
who knows? Nobody really knows. But I do know. I was thinking the other day, there better be a lot of really good music being written right now, because there's not really any other excuse.
I don't know, man. It seems like this is affecting people in different ways. Some people are being a lot more productive. They're doing a lot of things that they've always done, and they're doing them well. And then some people, it's just depressing, and they're just sinking into their couch watching Tiger King and eating Cheetos.
Sure.
I think I'm somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I think you got to find your groove no matter where you are in life, and life is always going to throw you these kinds of curveballs. Not these kinds, but just curveballs in general. And I've seen a lot of curveballs in my time, and I've done a lot of adapting, and that's always been what life is about. You got to adapt to what's around you.
I kind of feel like I was thinking about this earlier, and I see them now, like adding a cat cam to this stream, because my cats are always doing crazy shit in this office when I'm trying to interview people. So have you been writing? Have you been writing new material?
We were working on, actually. I had a new idea. Not a new idea. I've had the idea for a while, but we just finished fleshing out the first arrangement of a remake of Public Enemy, Shut 'Em Down. And I knew we wanted to do a Public Enemy song. I'd actually started on two. I started on Fight the Power and Shut 'Em Down. And then Public Enemy came out with their new version of Fight the Power. So I kind of backed off of that, because it had some pretty prominent MCs on it. But Shut 'Em Down, I think, is the way that we did it. I think it's really going to catch the people by surprise.
Well, cool, man. What are you guys doing to? So you guys say you have some stuff on Spotify right now?
Yeah, virtually any streaming outlet. Our album is on Spotify. It's a self-titled album, Priests of Hiroshima.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get on Spotify.
It's got 10 tracks on it.
Huh?
It's got 10 tracks on it.
I'm on it. Oh, I think Steve's here. What's up, Steve?
Hey, man. Welcome. Sorry about that, man. I was held up by rain.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was racing against a bunch of truckers, man, trying not to get ran over.
Here's what you guys look like on Spotify here on the website.
Yeah, that's us.
That's the album cover I was talking about. Yeah.
So it came out last year. 47
November.
minutes and 43 seconds.
Yeah, December, I believe. Was it late November or early December?
Yeah, it was late November. It was before December hit, but
Yeah, man. We just decided to put it out there, and everything is DIY, doing everything ourselves. Until we find something otherwise. We just released 2 videos within the past month. One for "Say My Name" and the other one is for Ragnarok. It's got some good reviews, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's been checking these out and help spreading out the word?
Man, go ahead.
We've been doing a lot of promotions, just trying to find different ways, different avenues. And I'm about to engage a social media marketing company here in town that I just met. Our video for "Say My Name" we put out the week after George Floyd's death, and it's up to 5,700 views now, I think. And it's a really good example of who we are and what you can expect to hear from us. And I don't just mean the message, because the message is always going to be there, but I think the craftsmanship of that song says a lot because it tells a story within a story. If you listen to it, and we have different perspectives of police brutality. One from a personal one with Steve, and the way that it starts off is it starts off by hitting you in the face. It just starts off with the truth because that's how we need to approach this subject. It starts off with Steve giving us his personal accounts of being a black man in America, and after him, we have a breakdown of Martin Luther King giving the eulogy for the girls who got killed in the bombing in Birmingham, Alabama in '63. And then we have Nino coming in and doing the second verse, and it's from a perspective of a white enraged white ally, if you will. It's very respectful of the topic, but it's also very blatant. And look, this is what's happening. It's right in front of you. And after him, we have a breakdown again of Robert Kennedy doing the eulogy for Dr. King. And then our third breakdown is Ted Kennedy giving the eulogy for his brother Robert. So in this way, they keep passing the torch to each other for the civil rights and for liberties for all people. And that's the entire hook of the song is "Pass the torch to me, brother." And then by the time we get to the end, it's really just about the only reason I'm saying this is all I wish for me is what I wish for you too. It's the same thing that I think every person should have, all of these liberties. So we don't just whine and bitch and moan about things. We actually say, hey, this is the direction that we ultimately all need to go in. And I think in that way, it tells a story all by itself.
Absolutely. And so you guys put this out last year, and then this last couple of months, it seems like things have really come to a head in this country with police brutality and Black Lives Matter. And, before you came on, Steve, we were talking about how I knew you and I worked with you, and I knew how passionate you could be even before. Just tell me what's been going on through your mind, seeing what's been happening.
I mean, what we're dealing with right now is a perfect storm, man. I mean, Flux mentioned the white ally. And right now, a lot of those white allies have time to go out and align ourselves together, man. Before, people had to go to work. We don't have time to protest. We don't have time to do this. But now, with everything with the pandemic, people laid off, people frustrated, not getting their unemployment, can't get through the unemployment, trying to figure out where the next job is going to be. So there's a lot of frustration with that. So like I said, it's a perfect storm, man. It's kind of come to a head. And at this time, we felt like, man, we need to have a video for "Say My Name," especially with everything going on. And we wanted to use some current footage. There's no reenactments in Say My Name. All of this stuff is real live events that have actually happened, man. And to piggyback on what Flux said about us wanting change, like towards the end of that video, you'll see the officer from Flint, and he's making a plea like, hey man, we're not out here to arrest anybody. We're out here to make this a parade, not a protest. And you know, little stuff like that goes a long way, man. Every time I watch that part of the video, it still hits me because it's genuine. You could just tell from the officer's the tone of his voice, man, from the genuineness in his eyes, man. Like, dude, that's what we want, and I feel like that's not asking for a lot, man. And I've seen other examples of that where police officers are right there, man, side by side. You know, even if you are on that side of the fence, man, right is right and wrong is wrong.
And here I'm showing your video on YouTube for Say My Name. I can't play the music because of there's like the copyright issues, but I also can't. But yeah, I mean, there's Eric Gardner, his murder. Lots of these. Oh my! This is pretty strong footage, man.
We made a point to, you know, not show moments of death. If moments of death were captured, that's not respectful, and that's not what we're trying to do here. Is shock people per se, but it does show exactly what's happening out there on the street.
Yeah. I mean, it's this is going on everywhere, all over the country, and it's ridiculous, you know. And you know, so Steve, you were talking. I mean, Flux was talking a little bit about you. You talk about your own experiences.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, or are you talking about recently?
I mean, do you want to talk about any of it? You don't have to.
I mean, I'd love to. I just, man, where did I start?
Yeah. I mean that, and even that for there to be so many instances to where it's hard to even realize where to start it's sad, man. It's disgusting, and you know.
I think if you simply listen to his verse on Say My Name and pay attention to what he is saying, that's going to say everything. Talking about being born into this world already under a gun. I mean, that's the experience that you're asking for, and that's right there in the song.
And it's been so many instances, man. Like I lost count. And a lot of times it's subtle. I mean, I worked with you for years in the Woodlands, man, and you know how the Woodlands, Texas is. Mm-hmm. So, you know, from time to time, I would go get my groceries at the local Kroger on my lunch break or after work, man. And like, this is just the way I'm conditioned, and this is jacked up, man. Like, I would make it a point to try to be on the complete opposite side of the aisle. But like, if I see an older white woman, like, I don't want to, like, there's like this internal dialogue I have with myself, like, oh, don't try to like scare them, like try to avoid, like, and that's messed up for me to think that, but there's a reason, there's a legitimate reason why I'm trying to play not scary black guy.
Right.
At the grocery store in the Woodlands, Texas.
Well, I mean, listen, there's this whole like us versus them mentality, and people move to places like the Woodlands to be in a bubble and to have their little racist ideas, you know, enforced. And so, you know, when businesses come to their bubble and bring in a diverse workforce like Fox has, it disrupts their comfort. And as a, you know, white man in my 40s, you would think, oh, I would fit right in the Woodlands, but I mean, I'm not a typical you know, Woodlands person either, you know, like I got a freaking Grim Reaper on my shirt, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true,
you know, and I got like a staple through my nose. So just even that, like, just anything that's not their waspy belief it doesn't go along with what they believe, they think if they're not the same as us, then they're different than us. And if they're different than us, they're against us. And if they're against us, they're our enemy. And that's the whole mentality nationwide.
And that's the narrative that it's always been, man. And it's so unnecessary. Like, you're creating these fictional Harry Potter, like the blacks are going to take over the world. Like, bro, we've had about 400 years, man, to plot against white people. And I mean, it's a poorly executed plan, if that was ever the plan. Like, we just want to exist. We just want to exist, bro, and nothing more. Nothing like I just want to have the same rights that this person has, that person has.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like we're dealing with a lot of selective ignorance, man. Mm-hmm. I like to think a lot of the people who are against that simple message, they know that. They know better, because these are grown ass adults, Rob, and they can't be that ignorant, man. Some of them are, but like, for the most part, man, I really feel like it's selective ignorance. All lives matter. Come, who the fuck said it doesn't? Nobody ever said it doesn't.
Right. Yeah. I actually had a friend say that, and I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, you don't get it. You don't get it. And yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I think though now, for the first time in America's history, you have the critical mass of white people that is going to be required to actually affect any kind of significant change. The people who understand that it goes beyond, well beyond George Floyd. It goes well beyond the police system. It goes into the justice system. It goes into the banking system and the financial institutions, and how people of color have always been treated at those places. Mm-hmm. So I think for the first time now, you have a significant number of people who realize this is the case, who have really always known it's been the case, but who now really get it. Look, it's 2020. At some point, we got to make a significant change, because this is not sustainable. It's immoral.
Yeah. No, I mean, the whole system, without a doubt, man. And I don't talk too much about politics on this show. Not that I'm not personally political, but you guys are, and it's important. But Steve, to even say that it fucking blows my mind. You absolutely have every right to exist and be happy and free in this society, and for you to say otherwise shouldn't be a political statement. It should just be a fact.
Simple as that, man. Like, I'm a human being with a pumping heart and blood, that's warm. And come on, man. Like, I'm just trying to walk the same paths, this man is walking. And I mean, I really don't think we're political. I try not to, like, that's a line I don't really want to toe. I'd say more social. More social, socially conscious than political, man, because that's a can of worms that I'm honestly.
But people have politicized that, like, big time.
But people want to politicize common sense versus not common sense. It really says a lot more about them than it does about anybody else.
Like, wearing a face mask is somewhat of a liberal conspiracy to keep people from being able to breathe.
Right, exactly. And I understand that you don't really get into the realm of most of this, but if you speak to us about what our music is about, you're eventually going to end up here.
Right. No, absolutely. And I know that, and Steve and I have talked at length about different issues, and we mostly agree on things. Yeah. It's been funny because some of the people that we worked with didn't always.
Good old Fox, man. Good old and those conversations had to be kept under hush hush. Hey, is it safe for us to talk now?
Well, it's like when we're together, there's like 3 or 4 of us together for an entire shift.
Yeah.
you end up talking about stuff, and I thought we could do podcasts just at that place, but
You really could. I mean, that's why I'm doing mine, man. And I need to have you on my show, man. I have yet to do an interview on my show. It's just been me so far.
okay,
But
yeah. So
yeah.
what is your podcast?
Mine it's more pop culture focused, sports entertainment, movies and TV shows, music.
What's it called?
It's called Over the Culture Podcast.
Oh, do you follow me somewhere?
I follow you on YouTube. I follow all of these on Facebook.
Yeah, I was like, who is this? I think you might follow me on Twitter, and I'm like, I didn't know that it was you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have asked, like, who is this? And he didn't say anything.
I just started doing that.
Okay, so let me. This is the Stitcher page for Over the Culture.
Yeah, that's it.
So you talked about Dave Chappelle and Muhammad Ali.
That's the most recent one on last Sunday.
All right. So this is just you talking.
Yeah, but I have it broken down in segments. It's not your typical like roundtable discussion type podcast. The meat of it is the across the line segment, and that's basically when I compare one pop culture figure to another. And with this episode, it was Dave Chappelle and Muhammad Ali, and this segment was about 20 minutes long, basically describing how they were both champions of the people. They had these platforms. They were considered at the peak of their respective crafts. Dave Chappelle had the most successful show. Muhammad Ali was the heavyweight champion. They both gave that away because they saw something bigger. They saw a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
And they both came back at the top of their game. They left at the top of the game, came back at the top of their game, and came back sevenfold, man. Muhammad Ali came back, beat Joe Frazier, beat George Foreman. Dave Chappelle, every Netflix special he comes out with is Grammy nominated, Emmy nominated. And, that 50 million that he left on the table for Chappelle's show, he's won that and then some, man.
Yeah.
So I really feel like, Dave Chappelle is the Muhammad Ali of stand-up comedy and vice versa, man. Chappelle was bigger than comedy, just like Muhammad Ali is bigger than prize fighting.
Right. Absolutely.
They saw something bigger, man.
That's right. And the biggest stars are always bigger than their what they're respectively known for too.
For sure, man. That's what separates them from the others.
Yeah. Like who Chappelle's still around, but who else would you put in that category?
As far as stand up?
No, just like as being bigger than their
LeBron.
LeBron
James. Yeah, the whole shut up and dribble. Like, no, dude, I'm more than just a star athlete. Like, This is my platform. I'm considered the biggest athlete of my time. There's some shit going on, and I want to speak on it. If that's okay with you, Miss Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he has a good career when basketball's over with doing whatever he wants to do. I know Shaquille O'Neal is killing it with endorsements, probably even more so than when he's doing more than endorsements. He's like buying companies or like buying big chunks of companies.
Yeah, he's going to be a healthy guy. Shaq is set. Unfortunately, he didn't speak out enough. He's definitely not a LeBron, and that's what I mean by separating from the rest, man. Even Mr. MJ, our precious airness himself, at the peak of his fame. Oh, Republicans buy Jordans too.
Yeah.
Like, really, man?
No,
like
no.
That was your moment. Like his money was not going to be affected, man. He was Michael Jordan. Like he brought the NBA to the world.
Right.
Like
he took
the torch from Magic and Larry, and he made it global, man. Like those kids were going to be behind you regardless, man.
Yeah.
Spike Lee used to do his early Jordan commercials, and even he was like, dude, what? Damn. Like, that's how you feel, bro?
Well, I mean, for some people, it's just hard, man. It's just hard for them to do the right thing. Speaking of Spike Lee, it's hard for them
Like
to
that.
do the right thing and speak up because they're afraid it's going to hurt their bottom line,
Yeah.
and financial risk is huge. And one thing you see on the internet now, like these people going crazy and yelling at old people for not wearing masks, or calling the cops on bird watchers in the park, and those people are all getting fired. They're all
Snap.
losing their
Yeah.
jobs.
Screenshot is our best friend these days.
Yeah, man. So like, don't be a first of all, don't be a fucking racist. But if you're gonna be a fucking racist, don't do it to where people can fucking see you and then track you down and
get the fuck back underground.
I mean, shit. Even
what does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you, Rob?
They're stupid.
It's that hard for them. Like, you can be a racist at the comfort of your own home. Keep all that shit to yourself. But no, I'm in public. MAGA, this is my green light to show my ass. Out in the public. Like, hey, man, there's repercussions to this shit. This is not the 1960s anymore.
No.
Yeah.
But you still have to watch out, like, where you're at. Like pretty much everybody that was a protester in Ferguson, Missouri a few years ago has ended up mysteriously dying.
Several of them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's just insanity going on out there, man. And some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Bring it back to Rage Against the Machine. Like,
it always comes back to rage.
It always comes back. So like, I gotta say, I saw Rage Against the Machine on the Battle of Los Angeles tour back in was that 2000? It was 2000 because I was working for Sony, and actually, when I went to that show, I got fired from Sony. Wow. That was fucking stupid. But
did you rage too hard?
Yeah, no. It was just some other bullshit. It's the only job I ever got fired from, and I got paid $50 a week, man. Like, come on, give me a fucking break. But I went to see I got to see Rage, and they put me up in the fucking rafters. I'm like, oh, whatever, but I could see the floor, and the whole floor was bouncing, and it was the energy and excitement was something that I hadn't seen before on such a large scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that just blew me away, and every member of that band is phenomenal. And then last year at Vakken Open Air, I saw Prophets of Rage, which it's the same. It's the band, but instead of Zach, you had Be Real and Chuck D.
Yeah.
Which is cool as hell. They did a couple Public Enemy songs, and they did a couple Cypress Hill songs, but most of the rest of the music were Rage Against the Machine songs. And those dudes are both legends, but they don't have that passion that Zach had.
I thought the same thing, man. I saw him in 2016 in Los Angeles, and it was basically what we used to do. We were a Rage Against the Machine tribute band, and it was like you said, these two legends, Chuck D, Be Real. I love them both, but they're doing Zach's lyrics, performing Zach's stuff with Zach's bandmates, and it was just, I don't know. I loved it, but it was odd at the same time.
Right. So I'm glad I saw it. I enjoyed it, but I'm also glad I was able to think about that time 19 years before.
That's the one I want to see.
20 years ago. Yeah.
You've seen it. Flux has seen them. Like, everyone I know who's a Rage fan, they have seen them.
I wasn't a Rage fan before I saw them, honestly.
Wow.
I was just like, because I'm not really big into rap. I appreciated the content. I don't think I was as left as I am now, honestly. Like they say you get older, you get more conservative. No, not me.
Some just know better as they get older.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but but like I'm glad I saw them when I did, and they made me a fan when I got to see them. I got to see them, and that definitely made me a fan, without a doubt. Without a
Dude,
doubt.
that if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't have this interview. I wouldn't be on here. Like that was
Yeah.
the band that introduced me to a whole portal of music outside of rap and R&B and gospel. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I was a black kid growing up in the Midwest in the 90s, man.
Mhm.
And it was the typical, you know, hip hop, R&B. That's all, you know, everything else was just considered white boy music. And Rage, like I discovered them in high school, and I went to a predominantly white high school in Perrysburg, Ohio. And you know, some of my teammates in basketball, they would play some stuff in the locker room. I'm like, man, I can get with some of this, man. And then, you know, that piqued my interest, and it went from Rage Against the Machine to like, who were their influence? Oh, Black Sabbath. Oh, that's where Ozzy came from. That shit. Oh, that shit's pretty dope, man. I could. And then Busta Rhymes did a song on one of Black Sabbath's albums. I was like, whoa, okay, there's some value to this shit.
I know for some people there was like the Judgment Night soundtrack too. Where
Yeah.
like metal
That's
bands,
legendary.
metal bands and rap groups would team up. That
Way
movie
ahead
kind
of
of
its
sucked.
time.
But
Well, the movie was awful, but yeah, that soundtrack was way ahead of its time, man. The Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill joint on that one, The Real Thing, amazing. That Faith No More and Booyah Tribe one, amazing. What else they got on there?
Is it Ice-T on there?
The Onyx and Biohazard song.
oh yes, Platinum.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Da-da, da-da-da. Now bring the noise.
Body Count wasn't on there?
I think Ice-T had something on there. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he did. I just can't remember.
Body Count played Vakken last year too, man.
He's still at it. Ice-T?
Yeah.
Respect, man.
Yeah. He's cool, man. He's a cool dude.
Dude, like that's a person that's evolved. Like he went from cop killer to playing a cop, man. and I mean that's what you're supposed to not conform. That's a lot of people thought he conformed, but it's like, dude, he's a grandfather. He can't be out here, you know, talking about killing law and like, no, dude, you just get wiser. There's better ways to do it, man.
Yeah, I mean he's playing a role. He's an actor. But I mean, I don't watch that show he's on, but I've heard just how funny it is.
Homicide. Homicide detective. But yeah, man, he's a pioneer in the game, man. And he kind of went in the front lines, like him and Luke Campbell, when the whole parental advisory thing was on fire. Those guys, Too Short. So just for that alone, man, I got to give him his props.
So let me ask you this, Steve. You talked about like before, like growing up, you know, your friends and stuff would say that like rock and metal was like white people music, and
that's how that was the general, and still to this day, that's the general consensus.
Sure. But like there wouldn't be any of that music if it weren't for jazz and blues that, you know, black people made back in the, you know.
And a lot of people who say, they don't realize that. Like, man, there's a guy named Jimi Hendrix who could play the guitar with his dick, and he's black.
Yeah.
He's probably, to me, the bad. That's the king of rock. Black man born in Seattle.
Absolutely.
And one of my motivations of Priests of Hiroshima is to show black, white, whoever, if you're into good entertainment, man, this black man can rock a stage just as well as that white man. Because I don't know if you've seen our shows on YouTube or whatever, man, but I get in.
Yeah.
I get in.
I think I saw you when you were playing. Were you playing with the Dirty Verbs for a little bit? With
John's band, that wasn't the same though, because they kind of do like a jazz funk deal. Yeah. And that was cool as far as hip hop. It worked, but like what we do, man, it's a different ballpark, man.
Yeah. You definitely have that edge.
Yeah. You could definitely see the Zach influences in what I do, man.
Man, it is definitely a thing. Like, you know, I went to Germany and went to the biggest metal festival in the world, and there were people from all over the world there. But you're right, though, it was still mostly white people. I mean, I guess it was in Germany, it was in Europe. That's a thing, but I would love to see more black people get into metal. I mean, there are plenty of black people in metal, but
There
it's
are.
Yeah, yeah.
but
So
it's
let's
not.
let's go ahead and have that conversation real quick and throw those names out there. Vernon Reed and Corey Glover in Living Color, awesome,
Yeah,
fantastic. The Fishbone, fantastic, especially that one metal album they threw out there just in the midst of all their ska funk. You know what I'm talking about? Give a
that's
monkey a brain.
but that's all old, That's
Yeah.
old stuff. I'm talking about like now. Like Terrence Hobbs from Suffocation is still kicking ass. He's probably one of the best death metal guitar players there is. He's got
And
that
what's his
funny
name?
Terrence Hobbs
Terrence Hobbs.
from Suffocation. He's got dreadlocks, but he's balding, so he's got like Pickles from Deathlock. You know?
He's got the Predator.
Yeah, he's got the Predator
Yeah.
for sure. But that dude is like he might be 50 now, but he's still just fucking destroying it,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he has been forever, and that band's still going around. But shit, I don't want there to be. I don't want there. I mean, I want. I mean, fucking. How many white rappers and hip hop people are there that are like blowing up the pop charts? Why is that a thing? Like, I mean, if that can be a thing, why aren't there super popular black death metal bands? Or
Well, for now, that's not as popular as it was in the 90s. Like
that's true. Just in general, you're right.
Like when I first got into rock, man, I knew of Seven Dust and Head PE. I think those were the only ones that came to mind, man. But now, dude, it's kind of like it's up in the air. Like there's so many ways to access music online, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to depend on the label. Like when people
Right.
say like good music doesn't exist anymore, I'm like, dude, you're just not looking good enough, man. You're used to being force fed like what radio gives you, what MTV gives you, and they don't even give you music anymore. Like none of those like music stations give you music, so it's kind of like you got to look out for Spotify. You got to go to In the Mix or Dat Piff.
Right. So my friend Amanda Tennis, also known as Mandy Mayhem, she has an online. She has like an app. It's a radio station app called Alloy Radio, and they just launched their. It's called Alloy Urban, where they're playing like rap metal and like hip hop infused metal. So I'm gonna send this to her, and have her get in contact with you guys, and hopefully put you guys on that radio station she's got going there.
Man, that'd be greatly appreciated, man. It's called Alloy, the app.
Yeah, Alloy
Okay.
Radio. Let me
Alloy
see if I
Radio.
can. Let me see if I can pull it up on the screen. I can show you. Ooh. She'd appreciate me. AlloyRadioNow.com. Is this? Yeah, this is it. Let me do a share screen. There you go. So you can get it on the Apple App Store or the Google App Store. So this is their website, AlloyRadioNow.com. But yeah, it's an app, and on the app you can choose. So they have different. They have stations. They have their main station, Alloy Extreme, which is extreme, the alternative like punk and grunge stuff, classics, Underground Armory, and they don't have it listed on here, but Urban, Alloy Urban is their new station that they're about to launch. You can actually play down here if you're on the website. You can play it on their website. They have a store. They have so this is their team. This is my friend. Let me see if we see her. My friend Mandy Mayhem. She's the one. I think she launched it, but they have a few DJs on here. They have their own store and everything. You can buy shirts and stuff. I bought a shirt from them. There's a live
And is
chat.
she from Houston?
No, she's in Pennsylvania. She's in like
Okay.
rural Pennsylvania, but it's the internet, and this is a Discord. Like I can tell from popping this up, this is a Discord chat. So people are chatting on the Discord server here, get endorsed. So they have applications for endorsements.
Nice.
So yeah, I know she's been mentioning some bands that they've been endorsing lately. So this might be something for you guys to look into. And other bands watching this, they're really doing what they can to try to make this app like a big thing in the metal scene, and they've got some good people behind it. So yeah, they're looking to endorse some bands and get some more music on their platform. So something for you guys to look into. I'll send her a message too for you guys.
For sure. Thanks.
Oh, definitely, man.
Cool. Well, so where in the world are you right now, Steve?
I'm back in OH, Ohio, man.
Yeah, what are you doing up there?
Collecting checks for now, man. I'm considering going back into broadcasting. A couple of close friends kind of like put the bug in my ear, like, dude, what are you waiting for? So right now that's kind of the focus outside of my band and other projects, man. So I might be leaving Ohio, depending on how these phone calls go.
Yeah, where might you head?
It's possible Denver, because they're still hiring people over there at NBC. Right. It could be Atlanta. Atlanta's looking more likely though.
At Encompass?
That's one of them. The other one was Warner. So like hopefully I can hear something by the end of this week, man. Because
Big Tony just went back there.
Was that?
Big Tony just went back there.
Yes, he did. Wouldn't it be great to reconnect?
Is it? I don't know. Did you like that guy?
I did not like Tony one bit, man.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
But he was a liar. But you know the thing is, man, I didn't work with him long enough. You know, he was just there when I left.
Right.
And that's kind of all he knows is the reason why I left, and you know what I was dealing with at the time.
We don't have to get into any of that.
No, we don't.
We can talk. Me and you can talk about this. Me and you can talk about this offline.
Oh yeah, it's all good. But yeah, that's
I still work there, bro.
And
I said I still work there.
Yeah, you're right, man. And but yeah, I'm in Ohio, man. I'm enjoying being around my family, my friends, and you know, the things that I overlooked when I first moved to Texas, I really appreciate, man. I feel like I took them for granted. Just living in the small town Midwest, it has a certain endearing quality to it, man. Yeah. The structure of the neighborhoods are different than what I was used to in Houston. Things are a little bit more close knit. Like I was able to have a full conversation with my neighbor on the front porch, man.
Check this out. So she's actually watching.
Awesome.
What's up?
So Amanda, this is Priests of Hiroshima. Thanks. So hopefully you can check them out and have some more content for your urban alloy station.
All right.
I think that'd be awesome. Very cool. I was gonna message her, and I guess I didn't have to because she's watching. So awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. She's an awesome person. She's really great for the metal scene in general. She does a lot with her LO radio, and she runs some Facebook groups, and she's doing a lot of cool stuff. So,
right on.
She's a cool person. She's a good person.
You gotta connect with her.
Huh?
Yeah, we have to connect with her, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so she's watching, so she knows who you are. I'll send her a message too, and you know, go on to their website and fill out that endorsement thing. You know, I'm not sure what their criteria are, but there you go. There's your answer.
For sure.
Nice. And you guys have a full album available for play. So you got some videos they can check out.
Yep. More on the way.
More on the way. So who edits those?
We use a company. I think he lives in London. It's just him and I think one other guy who run a company called Studio 27 Productions. And they've done the first two videos for Ragnarok and Say My Name, done exactly what we wanted. And they're really, really good as far as we're concerned. And we're going to keep using them.
How'd you find those guys, if you don't mind me asking?
Steve found them on Fiverr.
On Fiverr, okay. That's what I was gonna. Okay, I was gonna ask, would you find them on Fiverr? Usually, when people use people in international ways, Fiverr. I've seen people like get different people to do the same thing on Fiverr and try to see which one is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a lot of
I
that
thought
on
about
YouTube.
doing that, but it's like, nah, let's stick to the script.
Yeah, no. If you found someone and you like what they do, then that's good. You know, let them continue to do it. Well, I fucking hate video editing, man. I'm terrible at. I hate it, and I'm terrible at it. That's a bad combination.
It's real tedious, man.
It is, and I'm doing that tedious playlist shit at work. That's all I'm doing right now is setting up playlists. And so I'm looking at this computer all night, just moving fucking segments around and adding frames, and I don't want to do that shit at home,
right?
You know. And so I have some friends that I've had edit some stuff for me, and it's been way better than what I could have done. And you know, sometimes, you know, as a producer, you can tell them, no, change this, do this. You
exactly.
know, you work with them, and it's not as easy when you're not in the same place and they have to send the files and you have to wait for it to render, and they're like, oh no, that we need you to fix this, and they have to go back and they have to keep uploading it. But I mean, that's the way. I think that's just the way things are working now. You know, like wherever in the world you're going to be, you're still going to be able to send your tracks to Flux here in Houston, and you know, if you guys start to play out, you'll figure out, you know, how you guys are going to do that.
Yeah, and he was just here. I mean, he came down, so it's not like we got to be strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And Atlanta's cool, man. Have you been to Atlanta before?
I've been there a couple of times. I went as a teenager and once as an adult. And in the back of my mind, I always knew it was a possible destination, man. Like living there would be a dual purpose because, I mean, there's a lot of broadcasting, obviously, but there's also a lot of music opportunities out there, man. A lot of possible networks to be made. So
I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, man. I know the promoters in Atlanta. Really? Dude, I know people all over the world now, Steve.
You do. Rob, you a busy dude, man. Like, don't you have another channel where you're eating?
No, like, okay, no. So I'm putting them all on the same channel. So okay. So it's a heavy metal travel show, and you know, so I do these interviews. A lot of people aren't really going out. There aren't many shows happening, so it's been easy for me to catch up with people and do these interviews. You know, like I'm in spring, Flux is down somewhere in Houston, and you're up in Ohio. You know, I've talked to people in Iceland and Germany, and the Netherlands. I'm trying to think where the farthest away I've talked to. All over the U.S., I've had people on.
Iceland's pretty far, bro.
Iceland's far, but Germany's further. Germany's further. Did I talk to any?
And you've been to Germany a couple of times.
I have, yeah. I was supposed to go again, like in 2 weeks, but that got canceled. I had like almost €1,000, and I was like, "Fuck, I need this money because I'm about to take this road trip up to South Dakota," and I was like, "I need this money now." So I deposited the euros into my bank account, and they had to do the currency conversion. And dude, the euro is almost the euro and the British pound, because I had 20 pounds because I had layovers in London. So I was like, I'll just, you know, get some pounds to use at the airport. Not that I couldn't use a credit card. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but both of them are almost 1-to-1 with the US dollar. And when I actually got them out of the bank to have the actual cash, that was not the case. So I ended up losing money doing the currency, playing the currency game.
And that was this year?
Yeah, man. When did I get the currency? I might have got the currency. I still had some from when I went last year, but I got some more. I think it was earlier this year. Because I got the pounds and the euros, and they delivered it to my house. They just put it on my front porch, which that was like $1,200 just sitting on my front porch.
Yeah.
And so I lost a couple $100. I lost a couple $100, because I needed that money now, because it was just sitting, and I have a little personal safe, and it was just sitting in my safe. And I was like, I really need this money right now, because I'm about to take this road trip, and I need cash for some things. So I lost money on the currency conversion, because like they're almost 1-to-1, and this would be a perfect time to go to Europe, because everything would be cheap, but they won't let us in.
They won't let us in, man.
They won't let us in because we're fucking idiots.
Evil Americans.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we're under a pandemic worse than any other place in the world. Over 3 million people have gotten the COVID, and over 130,000 people have died from it just in the United States, and that's far worse than any other country. Worse than even in China, which has a much larger population than us. I mean,
hey, I just gotta let you guys know my phone's gonna die in about 1 minute.
All right, well, we'll let you go, man.
Yeah, y'all carry on as long as you want. I'll be around later.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks, bro.
Thanks. All right, man. Let's do this, because you're using the phone, so you kind of cut off a little bit. I'm bright. I don't even have that extra light on. I guess it's just making up. It's probably fucking grainy too. Well, it's too late now. I'm about to end it anyway. So,
dude, it's a dope setup, man. And I know you were talking about it for a little bit, not too long before I left, man. And it's coming to fruition, bro. And just like keep at it, man. Like I remember like having a discussion with you. You were planting the seeds, man. And here we are.
I'm trying. I mean, I'm still working at that other place, and I'm not somebody asked me if I'm making any money off this. I do have my YouTube monetized, but I've made like $10.
But the thing is, and with my podcast, I think I'm only at like maybe $7.
And you're using Anchor, aren't you?
I'm going through Anchor, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw the logo, which I use Anchor to make my podcasts as well. I like it a lot.
But I just started adding a YouTube channel for that too, man. It's a process, but the thing is, Rob, if you love this, man, like the money and all that, that'll come. Clearly this is something that you have a passion for, man. Like you're into metal, and you like talking to different acts, man.
Yeah.
Well, I like talking about all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking to people and experiencing new things and new places and experiences and perspectives. And metal is kind of like my doorway into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'm about to take this road trip to South Dakota. All these festivals all over the country are canceling. This festival in Slam Dakota Death Fest 3 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota is chugging along. And bands have been dropping, and they've added some other bands, but it's still happening. I have my non-refundable hotel rooms booked.
And this is this month?
This is, dude, it's that festival is on the 17th and the 18th.
Okay.
So, but I'm leaving on Sunday, because I'm just taking a huge road trip, man. I'm
wow. Solo,
yeah.
Dude.
I'm going by myself, but I'm meeting up with friends along the way.
How long of a trip is that, man?
I'm gonna take almost 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice scenery I heard up there too, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna start off in Oklahoma and see they have some amazing state parks. just west of Oklahoma City. So I'm gonna check those out. I'm gonna videotape everything. And my buddy is gonna edit this all together. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna go to Oklahoma, and then I'm gonna go up to. I don't. On my way up, I'm not sure if I'll stop in Kansas or Nebraska somewhere. It depends on what time of day it is and how tired I get. I'm just gonna stop somewhere. But I'm gonna go to in South Dakota. There's Custer State Park, and then there's the Badlands National Park, which looks like a moonscape. Like, it's amazing from what I've seen.
Nice.
And so, and I'm going to see Mount Rushmore. I'm going to wear my municipal waste Trump blowing his brains out shirt at Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
We'll
yes.
see. We'll see how that goes over. I'm going to be a little political on this trip.
As you should. It's your American right, Rob.
It is my American right. It is my American right.
Damn right, man. Protect the amendment.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, I'm gonna see the parks. I'm gonna see parks in Oklahoma and South Dakota, and then go to the festival in South Dakota, and then I'm going to meet some friends in Kansas in this town that's like The town is like Wizard of Oz town in Kansas.
Was it Emerald something?
No, it's called Wamego, Kansas. It's a small town, and there's a yellow brick road, and there's Toto statues all over, and there's a Oz museum, and
oh wow,
yeah. So it's kind of weird. I like the Wizard of Oz.
Hey, it's a classic, man.
So
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I actually didn't know either. I have some friends that live close to there, and I booked a place, and then they told me about the Wizard of Oz stuff, and I was like, "What?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool."
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I'm gonna go to Tulsa. There's some interesting stuff there. There was just a failed Trump rally there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wear that municipal waste shirt in Tulsa. Maybe that'll be fun.
Oh,
I might not.
man.
I don't know, man. I might end up missing at some point.
No, dude. Hey, man. That's why you got to roll in the group, man. When you get to Kansas, man, do not stop until you see your friends.
Yeah.
Make sure you get gas at the daytime. When you enter Kansas, man, because like the South gets a bad reputation, but the Midwest has its mess too, man.
Did you see Unsolved Mysteries?
I did. Yeah.
And that one guy that went to the party, and they ended up finding him a couple days later in the creek.
Yep.
That was in Kansas.
That was it. That was in Kansas.
Or no, was that in Kansas? Well, I think he was from Kansas.
Nebraska. I thought it was
he
Nebraska.
He wore Nebraska stuff.
Okay,
that's what it was. They were from Topeka, and they went to a small. They went to a small town, maybe in Missouri, but either way, that whole area, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
And you saw what happened this past weekend on the 4th. The dude in Indiana
almost got lynched. Yeah,
almost got lynched, man.
Yeah,
and this is in broad daylight, bro. Broad daylight, and
the cops were like, "Nope, nothing happened."
No arrest.
No arrest.
They're on camera talking about what they're gonna do to this man. Yeah. And I found that brother's. I found his Facebook, man, and he probably won't see this, but I just want to reach out to him and let him know, man. Like I'm just glad you're alive, brother, to tell your story, and don't feel that you are alone, man. You got a legion of writers who will not allow you to fight this alone, man.
Just think if they didn't have the cell phones and weren't making the video, what could have happened? And like the cops fucking saw the fucking video and like, oh, nothing to see here. What the fuck?
Yeah,
what
man.
The actual fuck, man?
Like technology wise, we're with the Jetsons. Like socially, we're still honeymooners, man.
It's insane, dude. It's insane. So yeah. So for sure, I've got 2 phones, and I have a dash cam.
Okay.
But if I get pulled over anywhere, which I shouldn't, I don't speed. My car is in good working order. I don't have anything overly political on my car. I've been pulled over in Arkansas once just because I had Texas plates and I was going north. So that would be the only thing I could think of, because they thought I was a drug runner. That's, for
Dude, that's
real.
one of the worst states to drive through at night. There's
Arkansas.
no street lights anywhere.
Yeah.
None, like
Definitely better to drive during the day. Absolutely.
yeah, man.
So I think I was working overnight, so for me it was easy to drive at night. There's less traffic, but right now there's not a whole lot of traffic anyway, just because people are staying home, thankfully.
Dude, when I went to Houston, it was weird, man, because like even though the pandemic is everywhere, like I was so used to seeing Houston a certain way, like 24/7, just fast and furious all the time. When I got back there, it was kind of like a post-apocalyptic Houston, man.
Yeah.
It's like 9 o'clock in 1960s blank.
Yeah.
It's the freeways, there's like 5 cars at night, whereas I'm used to seeing the motherfuckers running all day, all night, man. It's unprecedented times we're living in, man.
Oh fuck. It's insane. I actually bought two face shields to wear. I know I'm going to get one on Friday, so I'll be able to take that with me on this trip. But
Nice.
Disney gave us some face masks that they want us to wear at work. Like they just gave them to us, but this pandemic's been going on for months, but they just gave us face masks. They've been giving us medical ones, like disposable ones. So to be fair, but they gave us some washable ones that were actually very comfortable. So I was glad about that.
I'm pulling for y'all, man, and like I'm loving the stuff I'm hearing. What's going on? It sounds like Disney gives a damn.
Yeah.
That's what I get from the retelling of stories, man. And like they really want to change the energy, which is long overdue over there, man. And the people who experienced that, the stuff that we had to deal with during that time, for those who were able to survive it and see this turnaround, man, I hope it doesn't stop, man. I hope it doesn't stop, man, because I was in the trenches with y'all, and there was a lot of moody faces, man, on the regular when it didn't have to be, man. And it's great hearing that stuff that Disney is doing for y'all. And I mean, but like
any business, it's hard right now. Like, how do you make the right decisions? So
ask the employees. And be open. Don't just tell people, hey, I got an open door policy. I have a sympathetic ear. No, man.
That's not true.
There's a difference between saying it and just doing it.
Yeah.
And man, if employees have ideas, the people who do this all day, literally in mass control 24/7, you're doing this all day. Don't you think they kind of have an inkling, like at least entertain an idea of what they might have running up here, man?
Yeah.
At least entertain it. And it sounds like Disney's doing that, man. So much respect, man.
Well, let's talk. Let's talk later. I actually got to get ready for work. I'm working 2 more overnight shifts, and then it was a whole deal. I should have been done with this 2 months ago, but I should have never been on the overnights. But that's completely
back on the overnights.
Yeah, dude.
But that's your realm. That's your domain, man.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. I'm over it, but just two more shifts. I'll be all right. But it's good to see you again, man. We need to
same to you, man. It's good to see you doing all right.
We need to talk privately. We'll talk more about work stuff and everything.
Yeah, man. I ain't trying to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. It's not just about being put on the spot. It's just I don't think anybody else cares.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But
shit, man, it's good to see you, man. Don't be a stranger, bro.
Right on.
We will link up in person one of these days, man. Houston's got to figure that stuff out. I don't know the next time I'm gonna come back, man, but they got to figure that stuff out, man. Abbott, yeah, man, you got to get on it.
I feel like it's gonna be safer for me to leave than to stay here.
Oh yeah, it is.
So that's why I don't feel bad about going on a trip.
Yeah, man, make the most of it, bro.
I'm trying. All right, dude. Well, I'll let you go.
All right, man. Thanks for it.
Thank you. See you later. All right, that was my buddy Stevie G, and that was Flux from Priests of Hiroshima. hopefully you'll be hearing more from them soon. I'm gonna link up Amanda with them, so hopefully they can get played on Alloy Radio. Yeah, definitely get that app if you don't have it. It's a cool streaming app. You can choose the different channels and listen to the music. It's cool stuff. Hopefully I'll get that shirt soon. Maybe I can wear that shirt on the road if it shows up. I will have an unboxing video maybe tonight. I'm supposed to be getting my Ultra Saber today, and I haven't gotten the I don't know, I've got a lot of notifications, so it might be here. I got to check, but it's supposed to be getting here today. It says late today, and it's 8:10. So I'll do another video for that. I'll have more lighting. I lost track of the lighting. I'm a little greeny, but all right, guys, that's it for this. Tomorrow I will have Gone in April. I will have Julie and Yannick. Julie sings and plays violin and viola. Yannick is the drummer, I believe, the main songwriter. I'm not exactly sure, and I think they could be a married couple. We'll find out for sure tomorrow. Tune in 7:00 Central, same bat time, same bat channel. All right, and until then, I'll let's do this. Let's do this.